What's going on, everybody? It's Childish. We're back at it again with another Summoner's War video. Today we're going to be talking about shield runes in the PvE world. As you guys may or may not know, shield rune is one of the rune sets that we utilize in combination of a will with our PvP teams in order to create cleave comps on the offensive side as well as the defensive side in order to soak up a lot of damage. In addition to that, be able to provide more beneficial effects for those Orions out there so that they can go ahead and attempt to miss that will rune so that you can stay with that immunity. With respect to the PvE world, I got a comment from one of my subscribers asking myself, hey, I was wondering, if shield runes can be effective in PvE runs. And I think the answer is going to be, more or less understood by the community. It's something that we don't generally talk about because I think it's kind of, understood, but in the grand scheme of things, I think it can go both ways, yes and no. And I'm going to say no initially, and then I'll explain my reason for yes, right? Because I think it for certain people at where they're at in the game, it can be beneficial. Can shield runes be useful in the PvE setting, right? Yes, it can. However, remember the concept of stats over sets. When people are looking at shield runes early on in the PvE setting, generally there's going to be a lot of things happening. We don't have the overall, effective HP or whatnot that we're looking for, to keep our units tanky as we're evolving into those speed comps. So they're trying to compensate with the usage of shield runes. But as you guys know, and as you can see with my current comp, right, shield runes are only effective for 3 turns. So while I may be able to take advantage of it with a composition like this versus the Giants boss where, you're hitting the boss 7 times and he's going to get some additional turns, ultimately, it is a temporary thing, and so I would always recommend utilizing stats over sets, going for whatever stats that you need to, get the amount of damage that you need and the amount of tankiness that you need, so that you can make your team a little bit more consistent. Because ultimately, if you think about it, once you get into that speed run world, right, you're already supposed to be pushing the envelope when it comes to damage, so you shouldn't be taking, too many hits, so to speak, depending on how your team is created. But when I think about, my personal situation, like Stella in my composition, Stella is always going to get wrecked because her third skill is going to be hitting 6 to 7 times all day, right? But yeah, when I think about that aspect, there could be I could take advantage of it, but ultimately I still value on the stats. And so let's take that a step further. Let's say you were like, I understand the value of stats, but I'm still creating compositions that are struggling, and I'm still not getting the job done. Where else can I get those stats that I'm not really thinking about or whatnot? Like why are people still getting still making it, we're seeing videos out there that are making it look relatively easy. I got those same stats, but why am I not getting the same results? So we're going to go ahead and talk about that. The biggest thing that they're able to do that with is the glory shot buildings, right? So if you guys are new to the game, you've heard it countless times when we're playing this game and whatnot. We're going to be focusing on a lot of PvE content, but ultimately we need to focus on right PvE before we get into the PvP world. However, we still need to make sure that we're taking advantage of the wings that are available to us so that we can go ahead and evolve our buildings. When we're looking at some of the most important buildings out there that are going to give you some really good stats here, we got the Crystal Altar, 20% health. We got the Sky Scribe Totem, 50% speed. We got the Ancient Guardian, which is obviously a huge multiplier here. Critical damage being the endgame multiplier, getting 25% is extremely good. We have the base 20% attack, and then even on the aspect of Guardstone here, I even like that as well. 20% defense here. This is something that is generally kind of put aside because 20% of the amount of defense that you generally see on attackers is not going to be all too much, right? But in the grand scheme of things, anything you can do to get the additional stats that you need to be a little bit more tanky is going to be pretty important. If you take note here, I've been playing for 3 years, right? And initially, I was really focused on the PvE world and started working on my stuff early on. But then I had to take a little bit of a back burner because I just didn't have as much time to sit in the game and really do those arena wings day in and day out, making sure I'm getting them done. But the one thing that I realized as I was climbing up as a mid to late gamer is that even though I could take out, a team, maybe I can't get all my wings or whatnot. Maybe I didn't have a lot of time to work it in my schedule, whatnot. I kind of pushed me away from doing some of those wings. But I realized for me personally that I need to be a little bit more cautious about the current wings that I have, and essentially possibly create like an arena team that can allow me to essentially auto my way through. Let's say you're at a position where you're not able to auto all the way through, create an auto-based team. What can you do? The biggest thing that everybody likes to recommend early on for you, oh, that was nice. Shout out to that defense rank there, all the successfuls here. Yeah, buddy. One thing you can do is create, a composition where you are, setting yourself up for assess failure, but for success, right? You're creating a defense that essentially will get wrecked hard, but that's okay because it's going to be able to drop you in rank and then provide you some defenses in your roster list that you can essentially beat relatively easy. Maybe create a comp that you can just kind of auto through, get your wings done, and then kind of move forward. That's one of the things that really hurt me, in that first or second year. I just wasn't taking full advantage of the wings that were available. And so, in correspondence to the people that I play with, they were just doing, a whole lot better because their overall stats were permanently increased due to the improvements that you can get in the Glory Shop as well. So keep that in mind as you got the Glory Shop, and then you got, of course, now the Guild War Shop that also has the Guild War flags that you can get to take advantage of as well. Okay, so that all being said, I do want to make a recommendation for a shield rune. Let's say that you are trying to create, trying to improve it. You've done what you had to do. Creating the compositions, and you're doing what you got to do on the arena side to get the points, and you're still looking to incorporate a shield rune. If you were to incorporate a shield rune on your comp, at least for your Giants B10 and Dragons B10 runs, I would like to recommend the one and only unit that I feel should be the case in point on that, right? So Galleon is just by far one of the best units to incorporate a shield set on. Why? Because if you incorporate the shield set on this particular unit, this will allow you to stay away from your damage dealing units, the units that you are focusing on the stats over sets, in order to get the required amount of damage you need to kill those to kill the boss before it kills you, right? If you guys are not familiar, any early game players out there, Ally Shield, right? You get the shield set's going to give you, when equipped with 2, you're going to get 15% of the HP, and that's base HP. That's not max HP, right? If it was max HP, that'd be pretty darn exploited. But when we're incorporating a shield set that is going to give us max HP, or sorry, 15% of our HP, we're looking to put it on a unit that has a relatively high base HP so we can get a little bit more value out of it. When we look at all the support base units that you utilize in a speed type of run, there's no question about it. Galleon is by far the most important unit in your setup, and you definitely want to do what you have to do in order to create a setup or rune build that you can take advantage of and provide a good amount of speed, attack, HP, whatever you're trying to do to set them up in your team. However, if you are moving into the next stage and you're like, okay, I want to push the envelope with some of my damage dealing units, I want to keep on doing what I got to do to, progress myself into those, sub 60-minute runs, but I still want to try to figure out a way to provide a little bit more support. Sure, yeah, you can play around with a shield set on this one here, and you can take a little bit of advantage of it. Is it going to be as effective as you may think? In my eyes, it is. It's kind of, what I'm saying, because it is like when you're creating. I mean, it's almost like kind of redundant, right? When you're creating a speed kind of comp, you're depending on what you're looking at, you're killing the wave so quick that if you happen to kill him quick, then where's the value in the shield set? But how about for those times where things derp? Galleon doesn't use his defense break. Tark doesn't pull multiple monsters to provide you that defense break after Galleon misses. You're gonna have those rounds where you are not able to clear things as quickly, and if that happens the case, then yes, the shield set will provide you a little bit of sustainability, will allow you to mitigate a little bit of damage so that you can take full advantage of it. And again, we're talking about the Galleon with respect to Giants B10 and Dragons B10. For me personally, I did make an effort to create a shield set on Galleon for the aspect, not just for the aspects that save him, if my party starts to derp a little bit. I actually incorporated it just for the process of taking advantage of Luna. It looks like my Luna is not here. I'll have to take a look at my monster storage here. I don't know why all my dark monsters are in monster storage, but Luna here, Luna is part of the parade category where now after the recent change, we're able to take, we're able to get some kind of additional, component with regards to our third skill if our HP is at full health. So for those random times where I derp, obviously my goal is to not let Luna get under 100% health, because when I get to that third boss, I want to make sure that this skill lands all day, because I want to follow through with the second skill, or either skill I follow through with. I want to be able to have that opportunity to have that increased attack bar and follow through again with the second, because as I move through these skills, in addition to utilizing Tark, if you guys have seen my Dragons B10 comp, I have the opportunity to pull Luna, reduce those cooldown times even more, and then possibly have this Dark Force up if I can't kill it through that first wave. Generally, I get the job done with regards to that, but ultimately, when I get it done within the first wave, before the dragon really starts to do some damage after that 30% marker hit, it's only because of the fact that I have this unit at 100% health, so that I can take advantage of the 1-2 combo here with that Dark Force skill. We'll talk about Necropolis real quick as well too. Necropolis is one of those exceptions I think you can make as well, because Necropolis, you have that aspect of Maggie, right? Maggie, the Dark Golem. If you guys, haven't seen it already before, or maybe you're still working on creating your MB10 top, one of the things that people run into in this particular setup here is dealing with the Dark Golems from stage 1 to stage 4. But I think out of all those 4 stages, we even have that issue of stage 3, the mini boss, the Dark Lich, in combination with this these Dark Golems here, right? So when we're doing damage on the on both of the Dark Golems here, we're reflecting 50% of the damage, 15% of the damage that we do. So for a unit like Lucian, which can ignore defense, as you saw right there, he ignored defense on 2 different bosses, or 2 different, golems here, and while he was able to get it done, the amount of damage that he does is so high that it reflects so much damage back onto us. And ultimately we get ourselves in a position where we can potentially die. So shield runes, incorporating a set of shield runes on your Necropolis B10 team is actually not a bad idea. But keep in mind that it is Necropolis B10 team, and while we make the argument for stats over sets, the argument of stats and sets is probably going to be a little bit stronger, because you cannot really have an effective team without the usage of violent runes and revenge runes. So to my surprise here, I get a really good time, but obviously that's not always the case, because again, Lucian will derp, he will mess up, and that mini boss will take us quite a bit of damage. So it can kind of, it doesn't always work the way we intended. But yes, I do like to incorporate a shield set if at all possible. However, if we're looking at bringing 1 Lucian, 2 Lucians, or even a unit like Teshar, shield runes are effective, but I personally would say if you have an additional vampire set, I would probably utilize that on like a Lucian, just to play a little bit more of the safe route, because that is something that you can generate HP every single time you hit him, because of the fact that he does so much damage. Lucian does so much damage. Teshar does so much damage if you have Teshar. I know not everybody's going to have Teshar, but for the people that are trying to incorporate, their Lucians, I'm making the argument for that, because everybody utilizes Lucians for Giants B10, right? I do like a vampire Lucian on Necropolis here. I feel it's really strong, and so you could definitely take full advantage of that. So that's pretty much going to go ahead and wrap it up, guys. And I hope that this information was beneficial to you. If it was, please feel free to smash that like button, as I definitely want to get the word out. In addition to that, if you have any other questions of topics that maybe is not too much discussed in the Summoners War community, please feel free to put it in the comment section down below. When I analyze my videos overall, I understand that as of late, I've been putting a lot of emphasis on my my gameplay type of videos, PvP type of videos, because that's the ones that I most enjoy. But I understand that entertainment is one thing, but education is another, and anything I can do to better assist you would be is obviously what I'm here to do, right? So that's going to be it, guys. All right, that's it. Thank you all so much for tuning in. It's your boy Childish from ChildishPlays checking out. Take care, and we will see you all in the next video. I'm out.